Today I'd like to show you how to link a bit tag and a data register from a screen object to a ladder element. It's really seamless when using FlexiSoft because linking is built into the software and it's just inherently there. So you create the tag and now the tag is usable anywhere in the application. So it's pretty seamless to use a tag anywhere you like. So the first thing we're going to do is go to our tags database and we'll create a tag here. We'll add now the type of tag that we want to create is an internal coil. So it's just a B bit, and we'll just say test bit. We'll click add, and then we're going to add a data register. And for the data register, we're going to call it timer preset. And we'll go ahead and use these two bits in a sample application where we're going to turn on a timer from the bit that we just created. We're going to turn on that bit from a screen. And then the timer preset is going to actually define how long the timer is going to time out. When the timer times out, we're going to reset the bit that we turned on the screen. So we'll go ahead and add this bit. So it's going to be D0. We'll add it. Now we can use these two tags anywhere in the application. So we'll go ahead and go to our screens. So we're just going to expand the screens. And this is just a blank screen that's created when the application was initialized. So we'll go ahead and go to Advanced Objects. Now what we want to do now is turn on that B0 bit. So I'm going to go to Buttons. And we can go to a bit action. We're going to set a bit. So we'll click that, and then we can drop it on the screen anywhere we'd like. So we'll drop it on here. Now, on the right side is the properties for the object that we just put on the screen. So you can see there's all kinds of settings here that allow you to change the look of the button. But what we really want to do here is just point this button to that B0 tag. So I'm going to click on that, come down to B0. So now the tag address that this button is going to point to is B0. Another thing that we can do here is assign a feedback tag. And a feedback tag is going to change the appearance of the button on the screen based on a feedback tag. The feedback tag that we're going to use here is just B0. So we're going to say a feedback tag, yes. So we want to have a feedback tag. And now the feedback tag address that we want to use is B0. So again, we'll drop down at the bottom and click on B0. So now when B0 is on, the button is going to appear in one state. And then when B0 is off, it's going to appear in a different state. So you can see here, these are the two states. So this is this off state. So I can go ahead and change the background color here, so that when it's off, we'll have some type of red color that comes on. This is just going to change the background. And then the background color for the on state, we'll assign green, just red and green. So that's going to allow us to see what state that bit is in. So we're done with that element on the screen now. Now we want to put a data entry object on so that we can change the time interval. So we're going to go to this edit data register because we want to edit data. We want to edit that D0. So click on that object, and now we want to change numerical. So we'll click on numerical. We can put it on anywhere on the screen. Just click the button again. Go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. So we're going to change the font size. It's 5:7 right now. We'll change it to 10:14. Just a little bit bigger. Now the register that we want to change is the D0. So we'll go ahead and change the tag address that this data entry object is pointing to. Drop down to the bottom, and we see D0. And the other thing that you can do here is change the minimum and maximum range. So we can say that the minimum here is 5, and the maximum.
'em. 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 'Em.
So now the user can only enter a range from 5 to 100. It just limits their access to entering too long of a number in there, or too short, or too minimum of a number. So now we have those two data entry objects on the screen. Now we'll go ahead and put together a simple ladder that's going to allow us to use the B0 to turn on a timer, and then once it times out, it'll turn off that set. So we'll go ahead to the logic blocks. We're going to expand it here, and we want to have this logic block running all the time, so we're going to put it in the main. We don't want to have it in the power up. The power up only runs one time. The main continuously runs. So we'll expand this, and we'll just go to block 1. So the first rung that's here is just an end rung. It puts it in there by default, so we want to put another rung in there, so we're going to click on this rung. I'll right click and go ahead and do insert rung. That inserts our rung. Next thing we want to do is put a normally open contact in. Go ahead and click on it once. Put the mouse where you want it. Click it again. So we see B0 is already here. So when we turn B0 on the screen, this is going to go closed and activate whatever object is after this input. So what we want to do here is do a timer, and we're going to have an on timer. So click on timer. We can click it anywhere we need to on the rung. So click it there. Now I can see that it brought up this define tag name, and it does this automatically. This is a feature of FlexiSoft. You can actually turn this off if you wanted to, but for me it's kind of handy to be able to give a tag a description right when you're programming in Ladder. So we'll go ahead and give this a description. So this tag address is going to be T0, and the description here, we'll just give it on timer from screen. So click OK, and that gives us a description for the T0. A T0 timer is 10 millisecond based. So what we want to do here is now, instead of having a value here that we can't change, which is this 100, we want to have this value be variable. So what we're going to do is assign this to that tag that we created, which is the D0. So on the right side here, we see the properties for the timer. The type of multiplier that we want in this preset is not a constant. We want to have it be a register. And the register that we want is that D0. So we'll click on the drop down, come down to D0. So now, based on the entry that the operator puts in on the screen, it's going to change the time multiplier on here. So if they put in a value of 10, this timer is going to time out for 10 times 10 milliseconds, and at that point the output is going to turn on. And for the output here, we want to have a reset, and that reset is going to reset B0. So our sets and resets in Ladder are in the special instructions area. So we'll click on special instructions, do data processing, and we want to do a device reset. So we'll click on device reset, and we'll put it in at the end of this rung. So again, the window shows up that we can enter in a description for the tag. Actually, I'm just going to click here, OK here, because Y0 is not the tag that we want to reset. So we want to reset B0. So we'll just bring this drop-down list up and change this to B0. So B0 turns on from the screen. The timer times out after the preset, and when the timer turns on, its output, it's going to reset B0. So we'll go ahead and download this to our FP4057, and I'll show you how it looks on the screen once that's done. So to download this, we'll hit the download icon here, and we want to download, because this is the first time I'm downloading this, we're going to download the firmware, application, and Ladder. So go ahead and hit download, and this is just a warning, the device is going to be stopped, so click OK. So it's going to connect to the unit at this point, download the application, and then we'll take a look at the screen and how that looks.
So here we have the application that we just created, and we've downloaded it to the FP4057. So you can see that the button is off right now, and we have a preset time of 5 in there. So it's 5 times 10 milliseconds. So it's going to be a 50 millisecond timer basically. So if we hit the button, you can see that it's flashing green real fast. It stays on for only 50 milliseconds. Now if we increase this to say 50, so that'll be 50 times 10, so it's going to stay on for quite a bit longer. Let's see, it stays on. And if we try to enter a value beyond the limits that we have set in the properties, it doesn't allow us to change the numbers. So that's the benefit of having the limits set on the data entry object.